Hey everybody, this is Lowbrow ASMR again. I'm going to be talking and reviewing about two books I've read by Rebecca Yoros, or Yaros. Two books I've read which I kind of picked up just because I saw a bunch of social media posts about them and I figured I'd give them a try. Picked them up this one up at Walmart, ordered this one on Amazon. But this is the Fourth Wing and the Iron Flame. I don't know what the series is called, I'm sorry, but I decided to give them a try. They got some cool covers too. But I'm going to talk about each one and kind of give you my thoughts on them. So the first book in the series is Fourth Wing, Fly or Die. #1 New York Times best-selling author Tracy Wolff says, the most brutally addictive fantasy I've read in a decade. And I'd actually say that's true. I didn't know what I was getting into when I first picked up this book. I had no idea, didn't read any of it, any reviews, nothing. Just kind of picked it up on a whim. But the book is about dragons, magic, and love. You have it's like a teen kind of book, like Hunger Games a little bit. These kids are at a military college in Baghdad. I might be getting these pronunciations wrong, but Violet is our main character, and she doesn't really want to be in this, what they call the writers quadrant, or be a writer. She wants to be a scribe, and Violet is kind of forced by her mother, General Sorrengail, to become a writer. And the book just grabs you immediately reading it. They go through some tests the first day in order to even be considered a writer, and they have to cross a parapet in this cavern, and it just hooks you in. The chapters of this book are super short. I remember reading this and thinking, wow, okay, I'm just flying through because the chapters seem so short. You get a chapter done, it's basically as soon as you start it, and I like that. It's super easy chunks of information, and it's filled with twists and turns and cool fantasy things like dragons and some magic, love, and fighting. This book is different than Iron Flame, because Iron Flame is basically the story's been set. This book is a lot of Violet trying to survive the war college that she's a part of, and it does a really good job of setting up Violet as a smart but strong character. She bonds with a dragon named Tarn, and she actually gets the second one, Ardarna, who is not really supposed to bond with her. You're only supposed to have one dragon bond with you, but she ends up bonding two. And in the beginning, they talk about this revolution or rebellion, they say in this book, of many people rebelling against the establishment, and those individuals' parents are put to death, and you have those individuals with rebellion relics across their bodies, and one of the more important ones is a man named, or a boy, I guess, boy named Exton, whose father was a major part of this rebellion that happened a few years ago. And that rebellion happens in Poromo, and Navari is where the college is. Paramel is where the rebellion takes place. And these individuals are all forced to be writers because it's the most dangerous of the kind of assignments you can get as a kid, signing up for your potential job in um, Narvel, Varel, Navari, excuse me. So this book, I'd say if you like fast-paced, exciting reading, give it a try. I was a little bit surprised by some of the graphicness of some of the love interests, but that's easily skipped if you don't like that kind of stuff. I've skipped it. I don't need to know everything that they do behind closed doors. I'm more interested in the story, but the story's good enough for me to look past that. The second book, and I don't want to tell you too much about it, just in case if you do want to read it. But the second book, Iron Curtain, is a second book in the series, and the established storyline has been set, and it's now basically go time. The end of Fourth Wing is filled with twists and turns, and great kind of story emphasis on what's right, what's wrong. And Iron Curtain is a total continuation of that. And Violet and her squad, and they have to make some difficult decisions on what to do and how to get through what they found out in the first book, Fourth Wing. The book is brutal but exciting. It has good fight sequences. It kind of is like a level up of what Fourth Wing is and brings it full circle. And the book is, well, it seems to be around the same size. It's actually a little bit longer. It's around 10,000 words more, I guess. The font's is a little smaller, so if you do end up thinking, well, this book's taking a little bit longer, these chapters seem to take a little longer, it's just because the font's a bit smaller. But I'd say that this book as well is utterly addictive and completely unputdownable. I'd say that too. It's not as, I guess, it is shocking, but not as shocking as the first book, just because you know what the world's like. The first book is a shock because you're getting the world set up. It's just a brutal world that these people live in. The second book is more like a thriller, has some thriller aspects to it, and you can kind of see a little bit, if you read Harry Potter before, you can get some, Harry Potter-esque things in here with the people going on missions and doing things behind authorities' eye and things like that to try to do what's right. So I would say if you do like fantasy and you have heard of this book and it's like an adult Harry Potter, all right? It's like an adult type of Harry Potter book. So if you do like Harry Potter and fantasy, and like you read those when you were a kid, and then you're looking for something like that, more of an adult version of it, I'd say definitely give these books a try. This is the third book I have to read next, but I'd say if you do like those things, give them a try. All right. Well, that's my review. I'm going to do some page turning and tapping, but that's my review for the Fourth Wing and Iron Curtain books. it for today. I plan on making longer videos. Those are going to be coming up shortly. But let me know what you think. And definitely let me know if you think this series is good or worth reading or not.